Hello Sagittarius. Welcome to your 2017 forecast. It's going to be a big year for you this year. This is the last year until December 20th that Saturn is going to be in your sign. Saturn, the great teacher. Many of you have restructured your lives in many ways. Some of you have been learning some very big lessons, but getting much stronger as a result of going through some of those learning experiences. And Mercury retrograde starts the year in your sign and ends the year in your sign. So I see that as quite significant for you, Sagittarius, as this year being a very important year for you to take enough time out, to retreat, to reassess, to realign yourself, to keep redefining, and also most of all to relax enough. Sagittarius, you're often very busy, you're a fire sign, you like to get on with things, do this, go off here, travel, do different things. And this Mercury retrograde, especially as we start this year with Mercury retrograde in your sign until the 9th of January, you may feel as though the year is really getting off to a bit of a slow start. We know how impatient you are, don't we? And I'm just going to say to you, don't let that concern you. Just know that things are going to take a little time to pick up. Maybe the first couple of weeks will be a little sluggish feeling. But use that time to really think about yourself, this Mercury retrograde in your first house. Think about how you want to be seen, how you want to present yourself. And you may find you want to make quite a few changes in that for this new year. So it's going to be an important year for you to remember to take your time. That there isn't a rush most of the time, that you are the one that is sometimes creating the urgency, when in fact there isn't so much urgency. And if you can do that, you're going to have a terrific year with no frustrations, just minor little bits in here, maybe little blips. But you'll find that your life will move in a flow. Your relationships, your finances, your work, your spiritual growth, all of it will come into a really perfect balance. That's what I'm seeing for you this year, Sagittarius. Just to let you know, at the end of this video are all the important dates that I'm going to mention. So relax and enjoy. The eclipses this year are in February and August. And the first eclipse on February the 10th is a lunar eclipse, happening here in Leo in your 9th house. This is shining a light for you on your spiritual growth. Remember that eclipses last for around about 6 months from when they start. Another 6 months afterwards is the energy of that eclipse very active still for you. So there may be opportunities for travel. There may also be an opportunity for you to expand your mind in some way. Maybe you'll do some higher learning. Maybe you'll do some teaching. Maybe you'll publish that book or those books, or get yourself a little more out there than maybe you have been. It's shining a light on anything to do with anything foreign, anything international. Maybe it's time to do some international business. Maybe it's time to meet more people from different cultures and really connect with them, and some new opportunities coming from those connections for you. Then on February the 26th, we've got a solar eclipse happening in your 4th house here. Sagittarius, joining Neptune there. So this is new beginnings in the home area. Something new happening with your family. Maybe a new family member. Maybe a move of home. You may be bringing a breath of fresh air into your environment. Maybe moving your office. Maybe working more from home. But certainly a lot of new, exciting possibilities as far as your home and your security and your family are concerned. Now, an important aspect that we've got coming up this year between March the 6th and April 15th is that Venus, the planet that rules your finances and your relationships, goes retrograde. And for you, it's going retrograde in your 5th house and then back into your 4th house. So what does this mean? Well, it means that a lover, especially being in the 5th, can come back into your life. Maybe for a healing, maybe for something to resolve itself, maybe even to reignite an old relationship. It can also give you a wonderful opportunity to reevaluate your finances. How are you doing? Are you spending too much? Are you holding on to it too much? Are you not treating yourself the odd time to something? Although Sagittarius, very often you tend to go the other way and tends to just disappear, and then it's like, oh, where's it all gone? So Venus is going to give you an opportunity to reevaluate what you're doing with your resources, your finances. From April the 9th to May the 3rd, we've got another Mercury retrograde happening from your 6th to your 5th house. And wherever Mercury goes retrograde in your chart is a wonderful opportunity for reassessing something. So this is about reassessing your work. It's also a wonderful time for reassessing your physical well-being, your diet, your exercise. What are you doing to keep yourself well? And also, with it being Mercury, what are you thinking about mentally? In order to, what do you need to change maybe mentally in order to keep your body at an optimum 100% energy level? And you might find yourself doing some research into health and alternative medicines, and even maybe getting into that as a career of health and healing. And Mercury going back into the 5th house, well, again, that's a possibility about an understanding of a relationship, a romance, of something that really ignited you, that made you feel wonderful, and understanding what was it about that relationship that made you feel wonderful, and can you now duplicate that in the next relationship or in the present one that you're already in. Have to check the camera with all these Mercury retrogrades. Technology has been playing up on me doing these videos, so forgive me for just checking that it's still working. Now we've got, on August the 7th, we've got a lunar eclipse happening, and that's happening in Aquarius, and it's happening here in your 3rd house. So lunar eclipse here is shining a light on your community, the neighborhood, the people around you. Do you know your neighbors? Would you like to make contact with them? Maybe there's some richness, maybe there's a new relationship you can create there. It's shining a light as well on maybe learning something new. Maybe you'd like to do a course or study something, learn some new skills. With it being in the 3rd house, maybe you need to learn some new technological skills to just update a bit of your knowledge there. It's also a wonderful opportunity for learning how to network more effectively. Really, you know, social networking, all of this, it's absolutely growing. It's turbo growing, so to speak. And how can you get into that more for yourself, benefit from it, contribute to it? That's what that lunar eclipse can trigger for you. We've got another retro from August 12th till September 5th. And that is here for you in your 10th, going to your 9th house. And so an opportunity to reflect upon your career, on your direction in life, and also to think about where you'd like to travel to, where you'd like to explore, where you'd like to really break down some boundaries and just expand out, because let's face it, you're ruled by Jupiter, lovely Sagittarius. You need to have expansion and growth and excitement in your life, and that's what that Mercury retro can stimulate for you. On August 21st, we've got a solar eclipse happening here up in this 9th house. Ooh, this could mean a wonderful trip, planning a trip, going away somewhere fabulous, new beginnings, a new romance with somebody overseas or a long distance relationship, and possibly an opportunity for sharing a lot of your knowledge. Many of you have got so much wisdom, you Sagittarius. Maybe it's time to share it. Maybe it's time not to hold back and to just do it maybe in stages. You're a mutable sign, so you like to do some things, a little bit by bit. But these are new horizons, new opportunities opening for you. Now, Jupiter's in your 11th house until October the 10th. So this is going to be a good year until October, very much for expanding your social network, your friends. You might meet a lot of new people. So this will be a very good time for networking and for connecting with new people that you find inspiring, with whom you share common interests. And then on October 11th, it goes into this 12th house. And that's Jupiter in the 12th, where it stays for a year, can be almost like divine protection. It's wonderful for expanding the spiritual side of you, for going deep within, for knowing that you can get all the answers you need inside yourself without necessarily looking externally. So this will work very much in your favor if you will give yourself that meditation time, yoga time, whatever it is, nature, time in nature, journaling, anything that brings you into a peaceful space. And the final Mercury retrograde, and the final Mercury retrograde happening in your sign from the 3rd to the 22nd of December. So the year beginning and ending indicates to me, because it's quite rare for it to happen in the same sign in the same year. So it's an important year for you to remember, to reflect, to release, and to relax. And yes, Saturn's been in your sign for a couple of years, and it's one more year to go until December 20th. And so many of you have been through a lot of restructuring. And I think it's really important that when Saturn is in your sign, that you do remember to pat yourself on the back, give you that self-pat on the back as to how far you've come. So many of you have come such a long way. And there's a tendency sometimes with Saturn in the first to keep saying, well, it's not enough, I've still got to do this, and all these kinds of empty glass syndrome, I call it. It's time to look at the things you have accomplished, the things you have done well, and to really boost yourself, so that you can see that although Saturn moves slowly, you have been making considerable progress. That is so important, because then your cup is half full, which is so important for you Sagittarius, and then you'll really feel as though this year can be a year that's very productive and also can make you so much stronger and more resilient than you've ever been before. So it's an exciting year ahead, as it is a time often of celebration. You might want to get yourself an originally painted painting based upon your date, time, and place of birth. Or you might want to buy one for a friend as a special gift. And I'd just like to thank all of you so very much for your love, your encouragement, your comments, your support. I really appreciate you. I enjoy doing these videos more than ever. Thank you for making this a two-way street. With much love, wishing you a wonderful year ahead.